Welcome back. Now we have a functional summoning creature, our shaman, but obviously we have some issues with this, right? Our shaman is clearly spawning way too many creatures. And of course, the visual aspect of this, there might be some things we want to polish up so it looks a little bit more attractive when they pop in, rather than just, appearing like that. But for now, we need to fix this issue where we're summoning way too many minions. We need to have some kind of a minion count, some kind of threshold. Now, we're summoning because our summon ability has its ability tag, and we can see what that tag is by going to Blueprints, Ability System, Enemy, Abilities, and we can go to GA Summon Ability. And this ability has ability tags, and we've given it abilities.attack. Now, I'd like to have an abilities.summon so that we can distinguish between these two, because we may wish for our shaman to be able to attack with fireballs and summon depending on the situation, such as how many minions are currently spawned for that given shaman. So step one is I'd like to create an abilities.summon gameplay tag. So let's go ahead and close our editor. And we'll go into Aura Gameplay Tags. So in the public section, Aura Gameplay Tags, and we have our Abilities tags. Right here, Abilities Attack. I'm going to make another gameplay tag called Abilities_Summon. And we'll go ahead and create that in Aura Gameplay Tags.cpp. Let's find a tag. We'll go ahead and copy it. And just beneath it, we're going to paste and change it to abilities summon. The F name will be abilities.summon, and the F string will be summon ability tag. So that's the first thing I'd like to do. Now I'd also like a minion count, and we could subclass our aura enemy class into the different character classes, but I don't want to do that. I'd like any of my characters to have a concept of minions, because a character having a pet or a minion is an ability that I think just about every character should at least have the concept of. That way, our player-controlled character could have its own pet or set of pets or minions. So I'm going to go to Character, or a characterbase.h, and we're going to add to our character base class a minion count. So let's put this in the protected section. We'll go all the way down to the bottom. We'll have a multi-line comment that says minions. And by the way, this doesn't have to be a multi-line comment. This is just style preference of mine for making it a little flashier, a little bit more noticeable. And I'm going to add an int32 called minion count. Now, we'll set this to 0 by default. And rather than exposing it to the event graph with blueprint read only, for example, instead, what I'd like to do is make an interface function to get this minion count. That way, we don't really even need to cast to aura character or aura enemy or something like that. All we have to do is call the interface function. So I'm going to go into interaction, combat interface, and we'll make another blueprint native event, blueprint callable, and this will return our minion count. So I'm going to copy and paste get tagged montage by tag, and instead of an f tag montage, it's going to return an int32. It's going to be called get minion count, and it's going to take 0 input parameters. And we'll go ahead and override this in Aura character base up here with our other combat interface functions. We're going to have virtual int32 get minion count implementation override, and it'll just return minion count. So return minion count. Okay, so now our characters have a concept of minion count, and we have a summon tag. And our combat interface has get minion count, and this allows us to really easily get the minion count when we have any actor, right? Any object that we want to check. So I'm going to compile and launch. Okay, back in the editor, I'm going to get my summon ability back open. And remember, our ability tag is abilities.attack for this. That's why we're seeing this get activated. But I'm going to remove abilities attack and instead add abilities summon. And now this ability is its own thing. It's not really considered a attack ability, it's a summon ability. So I'm going to compile that. Now, what happens when we change that ability tag? Well, we're not going to see it activated anymore. We're going to see that our enemy doesn't actually have the ability to summon. I mean, it does have the summon ability, but it cannot activate it. Nothing is activating it. Now, let's see exactly why that is. We know why when we go to Blueprints, AI, Behavior Tree, and we open BT Enemy Behavior Tree. And if we're a ranged attacker, which our Elementalist is, we'll reach BTT Attack, this Behavior Tree task. And if we open BTT Attack, then we'll see what we're doing here. When we reach this task, we see that we're trying activate abilities by tag, and we're using attack tag, and that is abilities.attack, right? So as long as this is abilities.attack, we're not going to try activate abilities with abilities.summon, are we? So that's something to be aware of. Now, we could come in here and check that minion count and say, well, if it's less than, say, 2, then activate the summon ability, but that doesn't have anything to do with any of the other types of enemies, right? BTT attack is not really made for specifically the Elementalist. But here's the cool thing. Our behavior tree is a variable that we set on the character. If we go into our Shaman, for example, and we right-click on Shaman, edit BP Shaman, and we search for behavior tree, we see that we've got our behavior tree set to BT behavior tree. This is set for the specific character, right? We just all happen to be sharing the same behavior tree, all of us enemies, right? So if we want, we can make a behavior tree specific to the Shaman and call the Shaman-specific behavior tree task attack. We can make one for the Shaman, and then it can do things like check the Shaman's minion count, and if its minion count is low enough, then it should spawn more minions, and if it's not, then it should activate the attack ability, and so on. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. We're going to make a behavior tree specific to the Shaman class, and we'll do that next. I'll see you soon.